I had someone from America contact me and said, what like disease do you have, pretty much? Like they're very forward, very straight away, and they were just like, I think it's this. And if it is, we've developed a new gene here in America.
They've developed a new gene?
Yeah, it's gene replacement therapy. So
right.
that happens. If I get that treatment, I want to enter a bodybuilding show.
All right, guys, we need to stop for a second because I want to ask you something. Do you know what the number one regret is for a human being? It's not betting on themselves. It's not taking a chance, and it's not chasing that dream that you often see discussed on this show. And do you know what the number one reason as to why people don't do that? It's because of money. But if there's anything I want you to take away from this podcast, it's that you can. You can go and chase your dreams. You can travel the world. You can start the next Fortune 500 company. That's why I'm super excited to announce that I've partnered with Monarch Financial Group. Monarch Financial Group are a team of mortgage brokers who are absolutely committed to making sure you get access to the money that you need and the education that you need. They've got teams of mortgage brokers with over 10 years of industry experience. And that experience goes towards fighting tooth and nail to make sure that you get the best deal possible. So it's time to stop procrastinating on that dream. It's time to go to monarchfinancialgroup.com.au. Make sure to mention Luca's podcast in the process. Bang, welcome back to the number one podcast in the world. If you guys haven't already, I mean, what are you doing? Smash the subscribe button, spinning back fist it, destroy it, step on it, whatever you need to do, just make sure you subscribe. We are in with a gem of a guest today. Kyle Will, ladies and gentlemen. I discovered this man through TikTok. He stitched one of the earlier clips that we did with Masood Chopin. Big shout out to Masood. And he was able to share his story and his journey through a very short TikTok, and I was really glad that you did so, man. It was really awesome that you reached out and did that. And, you know, over the past couple of days, I've been able to read more into your story and understand what you're about and your ethics. And I have to say, man, Kyle Will, is it Kyle Will Do It?
Kyle Will Inspire.
Kyle Will Inspire. Apologies for that.
That's all good.
Kyle Will Inspire. I mean, it's the perfect name for you, man, because you're all about inspiration, and I love it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
It's awesome, dude. So why don't you, for the people who aren't aware who you are, which is, you know, a crime against humanity at this point, why don't you share a little bit about your story and let the people know kind of how you ended up at this point in this podcast chair?
Yeah, no worries. So I guess I'll start from the beginning. I was born with a chronic illness that I never really knew the name of. So as a child, it was known as axonal neuropathy, and that was because back then they didn't have the technology or anything to kind of really diagnose me. They said I'd be in a wheelchair by 18 and potentially not live much longer than that. So
wow,
that was kind of told to me at like a young age sort of thing. And I just said, well, you know what? I'm alive now. And this is like kid me thinking like, whatever, I'll just take it as it comes. So, you know, as I was growing up in school, I played soccer. I did all the things I needed to do because the disease gets worse as you age. So as a kid, I wasn't terribly bad, but over time it got worse. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, I guess there was a lot of bullying through high school and all that sort of stuff. Whatever, that just kind of toughens you up into adulthood, I guess. I've always been a hustler, entrepreneur from a young age. I picked up horse shit in my mum's paddock for money to begin with before I learnt with computers and started to earn money that way. Got my license at 18, which I know I was insanely interested in from a young age because my dad races V8 supercars.
Oh,
so
wow.
He taught me how to drive at a pretty young age as well, like on the racetrack and everything. Got my license, became pretty independent, but over the years I kind of, you know, while hustling, doing all the things I was doing, I did not care about my health one bit. I was just like, whatever, you know, I'm past my use by date in my head. I'm just going to grind for money and see where I get. And I got to not a very good place in the end, which was heavily overweight and, just depressed and not at all happy with my life. But that led me to the point of change. And it was pretty much just one day I got up and said, no, I can't live like this anymore. I was just sick all the time. I was sore. I was starting to get pretty almost immobile because I was so heavy. And yeah, I pretty much sold up everything in my life and moved to Darwin and started to get fit. And long story short now, the last, 2 years I've just been focusing on my health and really what I wanted to do with my life. And it came to the conclusion I want to inspire people to live a healthier lifestyle, because I know what it's like being, slaving for money and just, not putting your health first. And what's money if you don't have your health? Because you can't take money with you. You can, you can have some nice stuff, but it's not worth it.
It's quite a remarkable journey you've been on.
Oh, thank you. There's so much stuff. It's kind of hard. I can get caught up in it real easy because there's so many things that happen.
Of course.
So it's hard to short course it.
So at what age did you first kind of notice, hey, I'm not like the other kids at school?
It was about age 4. I was just like, my feet were just starting to drop. And so like I was tripping over a lot. And my family noticed, like, he's tripping over a lot, like, is he all right? And they kept taking me back to the doctors, take me back. And they're like, no, he's just bumble-footed. He'll grow out of it. He's all good. We can't find anything wrong with him. And so then it was like by the end of age 5, after extensive tests and blood tests and this and that, they just said, oh, okay, no, he does have a condition. And it is degenerative. And yeah, that's where it kind of went from there. So when I learned about it, I only knew it was my feet. I didn't know if it was going to do it to my hands as well. So that was a new shock at about 10 years old, because they were still really good till then.
And at this point, were you in any kind of physical pain?
Oh, I'm always in pain. Yeah. So with nerve stuff, normally you can get a lot of like burning and sharp pains and ghost pains and all that sort of stuff. And also I never wore orthotics up until I was about 15. So pretty much my feet were just doing this all the time. And when that happens, when they don't have any control, my left one actually rolled over at about the age of 14. So I was pretty much walking on the side of my foot for about a year before I got surgery.
Walking on the side of your foot?
So it rolled over and I was literally walking on that side of my foot, like it completely turned.
Jesus Christ.
Because there was just like not a lot of, I guess, they didn't know what was happening. And then when it all kind of happened, get booked in for surgery and it takes X time. So I'm at school literally walking around on the side of my foot in just excruciating pain. But what can you do?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I can't imagine, because for someone who, for the most part, has lived a relatively normal life, going through those periods of high school, particularly at that like 14, 15-year-old age, is very rough. Like there's social dynamics change and puberty is hitting and you're just getting all these hormones thrown at you at the same time.
Yeah.
And girls and money and everything gets introduced. So you're dealing with what it is to be a typical teenager at that time, but with this added pressure of literally walking would hurt.
Yeah.
And the doctors couldn't explain anything. There was like no clinical diagnosis for you.
Nah, so it's pretty much they gave the name axonal neuropathy. So axons are like up-down nerves. So to be up-down nerves bad. So that's what axonal neuropathy is. So I'm like, cool. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, but you did say kind of when you were prefacing the story and introducing yourself a bit that you were still actively playing soccer and, your dad taught you how to drive.
Yeah.
So you obviously found ways to navigate this.
Oh, it was like nearly any problem. This is like the one thing I kind of pride myself on is if I have a situation where I can't do something, it's literally like, okay, I can't do it, or is it just going to be harder to do? So I would normally just try and figure it out, whatever it is. So, like as a kid, as I said, like, because it got worse as I aged, like playing soccer and stuff, literally my feet were just like flapping, but I could still run, but it was hard. But I just wanted to play, So I just did that. I went in the athletics carnivals and stuff, and they would like start me halfway on the athletics running races, and they'd run a second race as well. So I could run the race with people and, feel like accepted, and then, they could just run the race again. So, yeah, stuff like that.
It's awesome that you were given those opportunities to participate as much as possible.
I'm going to actually go back to my primary school and go do a video with them and just let them know like what they did for me as an adult, because they did a lot of, groundwork for me as a kid, and that's huge, and I don't forget.
What was the name of the school?
It was Badalla Primary School down the South Coast.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, I see. Big shout out to Badalla Primary School.
Did a good job. Did a really good job.
So then you approach this inflection point in your life, right, where the doctors had kind of said, we don't know what's going on. We can give him support in terms of braces and try and make you as comfortable as possible. But they did say that you aren't expected to live past 18.
Yeah, well, because the condition with the nerves, right, is the nerves, like for my hands and feet, they don't exist about halfway from here. So they just die off. And the nerves had the opportunity, like they have the potential to fail to my organs. So it's the closer they are to the brain, they're better, but the further away, they're worse. So they're like, oh, well, we know the ones are going to fail in his arms and legs, but we don't know what's going to happen.
So over time, the nerves will continually like retract in a way?
Oh, yeah. Like, so pretty much because my brain can't connect to these ones, right? So it just goes, okay, well, we don't need any of the muscle down here or anything or the rest of the nerve because we can't connect with it. So if they thought if the brain, ever decides that it's not going to connect with them anymore as good, like, could shut down my lungs or my heart.
Whoa.
And then that would be that. Yeah.
Wow, dude, that's heavy.
Yeah. It was a big pill to swallow, but it seems now like being over the hill, like at being past 25 when you stop growing is when it was meant to stop getting worse or be over, sort of thing. So in my eyes, I feel like I'm all right now, but like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, tomorrow could be my last day, but like, it could be anyone's like last day tomorrow.
Does that change your perspective a little bit? Because I find I'm guilty of this more than anyone, is that I find myself living so far in the future that I kind of don't take the time to smell the roses. I don't take the time to appreciate today, with all its pros and all its cons and everything that comes with it. And it's a message that we're constantly beaten over the head with, appreciate the moment. You don't know when it's going to be your last. But is your perspective distinct in that sense, in that, heaven forbid, but it could literally at any moment be your last moment?
Yeah. I've been working on that for a long time. So like I have projections and future goals and everything I want, but I'm really working on being present in the moment. Like, I wake up every day now with meditation, just because it helps prime my day and just shut down most thoughts, you know what I mean? And then that way, good or bad day, it's just a day. So let's just get into it,
Yeah.
That's how I see it. Like, everything we do every day is an experience, and it could be the last. So just kind of try and absorb it. That's what I try and do anyway.
Yeah.
Like, every gym session to me is just like an amusement park. It's like gold. I love it, So yeah, just being present is super important, I think.
Yeah. That's amazing, dude. It's so valuable for people, because it's so easy to get caught up in, my auntie said this and I got a flat tire, and before you know it, you're just having a quote unquote bad day. And it's so valuable for people to gain perspective and, really appreciate that your worst day is someone else's, dream life. Just the ability to have a car and move around, or have two legs and walk.
Yeah. 100%. Like, I look at myself and I always think, someone is always going to be worse off. It's just what you do with it. You can sit there and go, oh, woe is me. Oh, my life's so bad. I can't walk, or I can't walk as good, or I can't do this. But like, what's the point? Like, just embrace what you got and just crush it. Like, that's all you can do. This is one thing I try and preach, is I see a lot of people that have some sort of illness and they live within their illness. And I find that, like, it's debilitating, because if you're thinking, oh, I'm ill, oh, I'm sick, oh, this is horrible, you are constantly just going to get that and get that and get that. And you don't want that. You need to think, I'm strong, I'm confident, I'm this and that, and you will actually get that. Like, that's how you do it. Like I've just seen people, and it just sucks. They see that they just own their illness, but they just live within it, and yeah, it's bad. It's mindset.
It really is.
It really is mindset for everyone and everything.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about that. And I think having a physical outlet in which you can exert energy and be focused on conquering goals, whether that's being able to bench press 150 kilos or whether that's just getting on the treadmill for 10 minutes, having the ability to measure your goals and take a step forward in the direction that you're aiming towards, right? Like as human beings, we innately need tasks. We need jobs. We need things to do. It's just, it's hardwired into our DNA. Being static as a human being is the most depressing thing possible.
Straight up.
And you see that in high functioning, ultra successful people. Take your Elon Musks and your Jeff Bezoses and your Cristiano Ronaldos, whatever lane they've chosen to focus on, you can tell that even though they're at the pinnacle of what it means to be a human being and at the pinnacle of what it means to be successful in their chosen domain, is they're still striving for more.
Yeah.
It's never done. It's never finished.
You've got to have a passion. You've got to have something to strive for. If you constantly just, droning along and not ever doing something you really enjoy, like, it's going to just crush you over time. Yeah, it's depressing.
How did you discover gym as a possible outlet for you?
Well, it was when I was overweight. I thought to myself, obviously, I've got to get fit. What do you do to get fit, I didn't know. I didn't know anything. I just, thought eat less, whatever, move more. I guess that's the general way to do it, right? But I didn't hit the gym for, a good 6 months into my journey because it was just didn't seem applicable.
So what were you doing in those first 6 months? What distinct changes did you make?
I went and bought a medicine ball from Rebel Sport, and I started going on like 5-minute walks and stuff right at the beginning because it was just too hard to do anything more. And I'd get the medicine ball and I'd pretty much just like press it above my head and just do all different things just to kind of stimulate my body. And I didn't realize obviously what I was doing really. I was just, trying to be more active.
Just moving.
Yeah, just moving more. And then, like for example, for eating, like if I go to McDonald's, normally it would be like, I'm just disgusted to say this, but like if I got like a large Big Mac meal and then like 6 nuggets and a large Coke, that would be the meal from Macca's. When I started to lose weight, I would get a small cheeseburger meal with the water. And that was my outlet to go, all right, I'm still getting McDonald's, but I'm eating less now. So that should be all right. And it did. It worked, obviously, because you're reducing the volume of food. So over the first 6 months, I lost, it was like maybe 10 kilos or something. And then it just halted because I wasn't educated enough. So I started to educate myself and I learned about calories, macros and training.
Where did you go to for that education?
I just worked on it myself, just Googled it, just learn it. I was just like, all right, I actually learned about the keto diet and that taught me about macros and calories and stuff, and I started eating bacon and cheese and stuff flat out, and it worked amazing. Yeah. So that educated me on that. And then when I learned that calories are what is going to I need to be eating less calories than I'm burning to lose weight, and I was like, oh, here we go. If I go to the gym, I'll exert more energy. So I went to the gym and hurt myself a bunch of times. Like just trying to do the movements and stuff, and it is what it is.
So prior to this, I mean, you obviously mentioned that you had like football and you participated in athletics and you're an avid race car driving fan. Yeah. Had you kind of taken any form of traditional training, if you call it, in terms of like understanding good form on a bench press or understanding how to squat or...
No.
Right.
None of that ever. Like I did go to the gym throughout my whole life, just intermittently here and there, just moving stuff around. Like I never really did anything beneficial. It was just like kind of a cool idea, but I now have focused heavily on my form and everything's improved greatly. Yeah. But that takes a long time in your journey unless you've got someone coaching you, educating you or whatever. Yeah. And that's what I want to do. I want to help people early on. So
you started day one at the gym with like essentially no solid information or grasp on how to train, on correct form, on understanding what machines did what. on gym etiquette?
No, like I had a rough idea from the times I'd been before, but like correct form can take years to learn. But like, for example, I get on like the chest fly machine and I just,
Go for it.
yeah, just, as long as I felt like I was doing something, that was the workout.
Was it confronting to go to the gym considering your condition and, it's, with all due respect, it is visible.
Yeah.
Like it's not something that you can hide. Like, and for most people, just going to a gym is a confronting experience because they don't want to look stupid. They don't want to look like an idiot. Mm-hmm. And you've got a condition. Sorry, I've forgotten the name of your condition.
It's called axonal neuropathy, but that's the blanket term. So I'm waiting for my genetic testing results to come back. I'll know in the next few weeks what it actually is, right? Which is cool.
So you're going into the gym with axonal neuropathy. You're going in with braces around your legs, and you're going in with essentially no concrete information to which you can base your training off. How did you find the courage to go and do that?
It comes down to my mindset again with that. It's like, you've just got to get it done. So I said to myself, I'm going to start going to the gym. And when I signed up to that gym, I said, I'm going to go. You know what I mean? So I was like, that was that. So I walked in and my orthotics were never really visible in public until January this year. Right. I always wore pants. I always covered everything up. I always tried to keep myself hidden from everyone because I was so scared of just people looking at me or judging me or whatever.
Do you mind if we pan down just so the people...
Go for it.
Do you mind doing that? So just so the people can kind of get a visual understanding. So it was obviously a big deal for you then to show your legs to the world.
So that was my decision January this year. I just said, I'm not doing another summer in pants. I'm just not doing it. I'm done.
An Australian summer in pants.
And I've done that like the whole 34 years of my life, you know what I mean? And I was just like, no, I'm not doing it anymore. So I took a photo in shorts and I put it on Facebook and I said, I know half of my friends on here don't even know I wear these, but I'm putting this up right now because I need to confront this and I'm just going to own it. And so when I first started back at the gym, they were always covered up. I just went in and, I'd just be like walking with a limp. That's all people would see me as. So I wouldn't have like any sort of anxiety about it really. But yeah, once I revealed them this year, I own it now. I don't care. I could not care less. People are going to look and they're going to be like, oh, and they're either going to say something or whatever, move on. I might never see them again. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just psychologically, it's such a hump to get over for so many people.
Yeah.
It's such a hump. I mean, I see it particularly in females. I have a girlfriend, I have a mother, and my girlfriend's very active in the gym and she trains a lot, but she, really restricts herself to making sure she only trains in the girls section because pardon me for saying this publicly, but she's nervous about other people looking at her and talking to her, and it makes it that having that privacy option is just preferable to her. And I was talking to my mum the other day who's looking at getting active in the gym, and she was really, just like, I want to go for walks and jogs until I get to a point where I'm comfortable in the gym. And then I come across someone like you and it's like you just went for it. You just decided, you made the decision, like, I don't care what people think of me. I don't care what people say. I don't care what's going through their minds. I'm just going to do what's the best for me.
Yeah.
And there's so much power in that.
And honestly, I'm just going to say that, like, to anyone, I actually get a lot of people messaging me about, like, they're going, how do you do it? How do you do it? Like, I'm so insecure about this, or I'm insecure about this. And they messaged me and I said, look, if you own those insecurities, nobody can hurt you. You've got to own it and just rock it. Like, what do you care what they think? Like, one day, as rough as this is, we're all going to be dead. Nobody cares. Like, they're not going to actively come and chase you for it. Like,
and if they do, I mean, it speaks more volumes about the kind of people they are, not the kind of people you are.
100%. You're just trying to be you. Just trying to live your life. And
Yeah.
if people want to pick on you for it, man, that's rough.
I think it really goes back to that high school mentality that we're touching on a bit earlier about everyone's so concerned about their pimples. Everyone's so concerned about what brand of clothing they're wearing. They're so concerned about everything that they feel that is wrong with them that they don't realize everyone's experiencing that exact same thing.
Yeah.
You know, I remember quite distinctly, I started doing MMA about a year and a half ago. And, you know, I've grown up relatively athletic. I've played football for, you know, the vast majority of my life, and I've participated in cross country and sprinting. So I've always kind of either been in a gym or around people that go to the gym. So I'm comfortable in the gym, you know, even if I do look like an idiot, I don't really care. I don't think about it. But I remember my first experience of going into a mixed martial arts gym, and it just felt so foreign to me because everyone there was an assassin. Everyone there was the killer. You're watching these people spar, teeth are flying, there's blood going everywhere, and you're there like, oh crap, this is a different game. And I'm just there looking at the punching bags thinking, I can't punch this in front of them. Like, this is going to be horrible. I'm going to be the laughing stock. So I felt those insecurities come forward, but then, you know, you just have to kind of remind yourself and go, hang on, wait, no, everyone that is at that level started at this point right here.
Exactly.
And generally what you find is that people that are at that level are more nurturing towards newcomers, and they want to see you get better. And it's when you're new at something, it's a lot easier to make faster gains because there's just so much you don't know. There's so many directions in which you can grow.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you have any mentors or any people that guided you throughout those earlier months?
Yeah, I definitely had some friends that were into fitness and everything that I'd be asking questions and sending photos to and stuff, and then like look at my progress, and you know, they were like guiding in a way, but like still, I think at the end of the day, unless you have someone like really coaching you, you're really just learning everything like firsthand. Like, you know, they can say do it like this, but if they're not actually physically there telling you how to do it, you're probably still doing it wrong.
Yeah.
So there was definitely a few friends that were there for me. So
yeah, that's cool. Awesome. I think having that network of people around you and people that are prepared to mentor you in every way possible is super important.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
So moving forward, you've kind of broken yourself into this new gym. Did you find that by exercising and activating your body, the pain that you were in subsided? Do you feel like you had more energy? Like, what benefits did you find from training?
Immediately, I felt less depressed within a few weeks.
Yeah.
I just felt like this rush every time, like just the whole experience of taking the pre-workout and going in and just sweating and just, you know, coming out. I'm like, I feel like I've accomplished something. So that was great. And then body-wise, like I felt like I had like carpal tunnel and all this pain in my wrists and elbows and knees and everything, and that all started to subside as well over time. The pain I get, like the nerve pain and stuff I get as I dropped the weight, that started to reduce massively as well. And while I learned more about my diet and sugars and everything like that, I got a lot less inflammation.
So wait, as you were lifting less weight, the pain in like your hands and where the nerve endings weren't as strong started to subside as well? Is that what you said?
Like pretty much I just always had like pain in my wrists and stuff, and I couldn't put it down. I don't know what I could put it down to. It was just, I just had pain everywhere, like in all my joints and stuff. And as I started to lift weight, I guess maybe it was like some sort of build up in there or something, and it just got better. Like
right.
The pain just got better. Yeah. So I can't explain it because I don't know what it was, but it just got better over time. You know,
That's
after 6 months in the gym, I was, felt like a new person.
How was your mobility in terms of like being able to grip weights and hold on to bars and move kettlebells and medicine balls?
So my grip strength is about a maximum of 7.5 to 10 kilos per hand. And that also reduces, like say if I'm pulling weight and I'm pulling 10 kilos, say I get to a set amount of reps and my hand would fail because the nerves just like, it just starts running out of connection. So I use hooks for my heavy exercises, and for bench I use straps and stuff like that. And but pretty much anything I had a problem with, I just found something to make it easier. So the hooks is so beneficial because I can't pick up more than 10 kilos, and then I can go and row 70 kilos with hooks. So that's what I did there. So my grip strength is not great. Not great at all.
I don't think anyone can blame you for that. It's it's a tricky spot you're in, but I really do admire your ability to innovate and just find solutions, because for anyone that could have just been like, I can't train today.
Yeah. I see that a lot with a lot of people, like as I said, it always comes back to mindset, you know. Whatever hand you're dealt, if you think you can't do something, you're never going to do it. So yeah, it's like the AFOs gave me the idea of like when I got them, and I'm like, oh my God, my whole life changed because my mobility increased a lot.
The what, sorry?
They're called ankle foot orthoses. So
okay,
AFO.
right.
Yeah. Sorry, I know people aren't
talking shop to me.
Yeah. And yeah, once I had them, I was like, there's ways around things, you know, like that helps so much. What's next, you know? So always just finding little things like that.
What are your ambitions with your physical journey? I mean, obviously you've reached a point now where, how much weight did you lose?
I lost about 40 kilos.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a significant.
It's a lot of weight.
That's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
So obviously you've lost a lot of weight. You look remarkable. You're clearly healthy and more energized and enthusiastic about life. Where would you like to take this fitness journey now that you are at this point in time?
So right now I really want to get down to a lower body fat just to see what my body reacts like, because I've not been much lower than I am now. And then in the future, in a few years' time, I really do want to compete in an adapted bodybuilding show. That depends on the results I get in the next few weeks. But so let's say about 6 weeks ago, I had someone from America contact me and said, what like disease do you have? Pretty much like they're very forward, very straight away. And they were just like, I think it's this. And I was like, oh, okay, I actually have never had like a proper diagnosis. I don't know. And she goes, I think it's this. And if it is, we've developed a new gene here in America. And if it is that, you can fly over here and get the treatment and it will improve you. And I was like, what?
Wait, they've developed a new gene?
Yeah, it's gene replacement therapy. So
right.
If it turns out that I have this condition she thinks I have, which is called, I think it's CMT25S, right? If I actually turn out I have that, they have the gene I'm missing in my body that they'll replace. So picture it like a puzzle, and they have the missing piece. So they put that in, and then my body will just help grow and be better than ever.
And how would this gene enter your body? Is it like
through a needle in the spine?
Oh, right. So is it similar to stem cells then?
It's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said. She said, no, you just got to picture it's like, you know, your DNA.
Yeah.
Your DNA is missing a piece if you have this condition that I think you do. And if that's the case, we've developed it from millions of dollars raised, developed it. And if you fly over here, we can inject you with it.
Wow.
So if that happens, that means I will improve. Well, I'm meant to improve way better than I am now. So if that happens, if I get that treatment, I want to enter a bodybuilding show.
Wouldn't that be remarkable?
It would be absolutely life-changing. Because obviously, I mean, it could improve me 5%, 1%, whatever. I don't know. But any percent is better than nothing.
Well, I think if you have that in combination with your physical duress and your mental desire to push forward, which we've clearly established that you have, but also the fact that you have kept yourself so physically fit for so long, I mean, you're just giving yourself the best chance possible of success.
That's exactly right, yeah.
It goes to show that it's almost like you've been preparing for this moment. You've literally been training for this moment.
It's funny because I say that all the time. Like people are like, you know, would you change anything as to where you got to? I'm like, no. Like my journey has been great because I learned so much about all the things over my life, and now I'm in like the best position I've ever been in, and it's all because of those lessons I learned along the way.
We could really see you on a bodybuilding stage.
Yeah.
That would be so sick.
I'd be so pumped to do it because I know it's going to take the ultimate form of discipline, which is what I really want to do to take myself to the next level.
Yeah. It's a different game out there on the bodybuilding circuit.
Yeah, 100%.
It's yeah, I've spoken to a couple of them, and it is it's such a game of mental discipline and being able to have your diet absolutely perfect with clear-cut goals and very precise on every macronutrient that goes into your body and every single time that you drink water and exactly how many reps are you doing. Like it takes it to a real science.
That's what I'm excited for, because like right now, like I'm not going to say I'm not disciplined, or I am, but that level is a level that I'm not capable of right now, but I would like to do in the future, you know, as I grow. So I think that is something that, like, it doesn't matter what place where I go, whatever, I don't know, I just want to do it. I just want the experience.
Do you think you've developed this mental fortitude in spite of your... Is it fair to call it a disability?
You can call it a condition if you want. Yeah. I personally hate the word disability. I'm looking for a new word to use. I don't know what it is, what I can use, but I want to use something new.
Yeah. Okay. So do you think you've developed this mental fortitude in spite of your condition or because of your condition?
I don't know. I'm a real brat, so I don't like being told I can't do something. Like straight up. I really have a problem with authority. Like I need to just... You know, I need to prove people wrong and stuff. So I think, yeah, maybe it's in spite of it, really.
Yeah.
I don't know. At the end of the day, I just wake up. I know it's not going away when I go to sleep and wake up. So just deal with it. I'm just going to fucking strive to be the best.
Do you have role models, or do you have like people that you go to? Like for myself, I really enjoy listening to David Goggins when I go for long jogs, or I really listen to an episode of the Joe Rogan podcast when I'm weightlifting, just something to get me fired up and amped.
Yeah, I actually normally kind of listen to like motivational hardstyle. Honestly, that's what gets me amped.
You don't fuck around. You go straight to the juice.
Yeah, like literally it's in there and like, you know, it's just talking about changing the world and it's like, do something. Yeah, I'm on. Yeah. Like I'm ready to go. Yeah. So like, and yeah, I do listen to like, I do watch stuff on YouTube with Joe Rogan and all that sort of stuff. And anyone in the fitness industry, really, I listen to what they have to say, like Greg Doucette and stuff like that. I listen to what they have to say. And David Goggins is one of my idols 100% because he's just an absolute monster. And yeah, his levels that it just, no one's going to get there. Yeah. He's set the bar.
He's coming to Australia next year.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's mad.
He's doing a seminar.
Okay. I'm going to look into that.
Yes, 100%. Cool. I'm going 100%. I've got tickets already, but I think they are available online.
Yeah, okay, I might have a look at that. That's awesome.
Yeah. when that man speaks, like the whole room goes silent because he throws so many gems at you and you hold on to that. Like the whole concept of the cookie jar idea, where you take every single good memory or every single good instance that's happened to you and take that and put it into a cookie jar. So when you are going through a tough time or when you are thinking about not going to the gym, you have those resources available to you.
That's genius. Yeah, that's
like,
really
genius.
Who
comes up with shit like that?
Well, it's people like him that take it to the next level. Like they've gone through shit to get to that level. So that makes sense. You know, he's been depressed and he's like, how am I going to get out of this? Maybe I'll do this. And that's when he passes it on. It's brilliant.
It's brilliant that the internet has opened up so many opportunities where we do have figures like Jocko Willink, or we do have figures like David Goggins or Joe Rogan that are able to provide a message, or if not give a platform to a message that has impact on so many people. Because, you know, only 50 years ago it'd have to come through a book, and then 50 years before that it was just getting on a soapbox and yelling out to a crowd. So we really have been able to branch out in all different directions of life, and you can really harness the internet in a way that is helpful towards you. And I think, you know, having figures like that on the internet is so important. And I know yourself that you're spending a lot of time on TikTok and on Instagram and potentially YouTube soon, in which you hope to promote your message and you hope to share your story in hope of inspiring other people. So how did you start that aspect of it?
So when I started my TikTok about a year ago, and that was when I was still hiding my leg braces. So all my videos were still like they were like informative because I was just trying to do things about fitness and stuff like that. COVID lockdown hit and I'm like, I've got all the time in the world, so I'm just going to do what I can. And I'm like, I'm thinking, I just want to educate people on fitness. I just want to get them healthy. And I didn't even really occur to me straight away that I'm like, I could inspire people to get into the gym by showing who I really am, but it just wasn't wasn't applicable.
Yeah.
But just started doing that, and then when I finally did,
So what kind of stuff were you putting up initially?
like low calorie meal ideas, just about like information about what walks do for you, just like home workouts, just like kind of anything fitness or health related I could squeeze out basically. Like, you know, I'd just mix up, like I'd make some custom meals and put them up a bit like, this is low calories, really filling, you know, good for you if you're trying to lose weight, stuff like that. And yeah, I did that for like probably 4 months, I think. Yeah, it was roughly. And then I kind of had like a little bit of a hiatus, and then revealed my leg braces to the world in January, and then just went, like I had a really good reaction from it. And then it just kind of kept going from there. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be able to inspire people to start living a healthier life through showing them what I've done. And that's what I did. That's what I'm doing, still doing, and will do forever. Like, that's my plan.
Did people respond to your content differently after you kind of, let's say, revealed your condition?
They definitely responded to me differently before I revealed it, because they could see little snippets that something was wrong with me, but they would just pick on me like I was a regular dude and be like, oh my God, you know, like that's horrible and this is horrible and your form's bad and all this sort of stuff. Until I revealed that I had a condition, and then it just started to change. Like, I'm going to say 75% of the comments changed to positive, and then I still had people, you know, picking on me and whatever. But yeah.
They were going after your form, really?
Oh, going after my form, going after my forearms, going after, like, if I had a weak, like, I had a weak looking chest before, like, whatever they could find. Yeah.
That's the thing about TikTok that no one factors in. It is a cesspool out there.
And it hurts, like, some days. Like, it's like, until you actually own it and you're like, you can't hurt me. Like, some of the comments really did hit you if you're still really insecure about it. So that's why I've just been learning on owning everything. Now I'm like, you come on.
Is there one like specific one that really just struck you?
Well, like, honestly, people picking on my forearms was not something I was ever insecure about.
Right.
And then they pointed it out, and then I started to get insecure about it because I'm like, are they small? Like, am I fucking, is it bad? And then, like, over time, because like when I was really fat, they were really plump. So I never had that problem then. But as I lost weight, then they realized there's no real muscle on the front. That just, that rocked me for so long, because I'm like, oh my God, I never even noticed this, and now I'm getting picked on for it. Like, rough. And there's nothing I could do about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that rocked me. But now I'm good with it now. Like, I'm like, whatever. What am I going to do? I can't do anything about it. If they want to pick on it, it's more about them than it is about me.
Yeah.
So just leave me alone.
Yeah, that's one of the tough things about putting yourself out there on social media, is that you're so micro-analyzed by so many different eyeballs, and the ambition for every content creator, whilst the ethos of what they're trying to do is maybe different, what everyone's trying to do is garner attention, right? Garner eyeballs. But garnering those eyeballs does mean that you've got 10,000 people looking at you at the same time, picking everything you do to different pieces. But I'm glad to hear that once you gave more transparency on what was going on in your life, that the tone really switched.
Yeah, it really was a good feeling, because I was like, okay, now they're like, oh my God, you're so inspirational, as opposed to you're only curling that much. I'm like, bro, my wrists are weak, what am I gonna do?
And I bet those people at the beginning are there like, oh shit, I fucked up.
Well, it's actually funny you say that, because I don't block all the trolls. I think some I have hope for. So I've watched a few convert. So over time, they give me these rough comments, they're picking on me, and I'm going, I'm going to turn this guy. You watch.
Yeah.
Right? So I keep posting videos, and they see me putting in this hard work. And eventually they're like, you know what? I actually had the comment. It's like, you know what? I trolled you for ages, but after seeing this video, I'm going to stop trolling you. I'm now a fan. I'm like,
yeah,
here we go. This is how we do it. So I don't block them all. Some of them are real malicious, and them I block them. But some of them I watch them change. They, gain respect over time.
Yeah, yeah.
It's rough.
That's interesting. So you really ingest it. Like, you really, like, you care about the comment sections, and you really read it, and it almost sounds like you're cultivating community in those comment sections.
I'm very empathetic for people, and if other people are hurting, I'm feeling it. And if they're attacking me in a certain way, I know they must be hurting some kind of way in their life.
Yeah.
And that's rough for them. And that's why I'm like, my content is designed to make you want to do better in your life. So if you're suffering right now and you're commenting that on me, keep watching my content.
You probably need the content more than the people that are positive.
Yeah. Like, yeah, they need it. They need it because they're really suffering. Like, or why do you want to write angry, mean comments about someone?
Yeah.
Like, what are you gaining? It's not good for anyone. You write a positive comment, you feel good, and the person who gets the comment feels good. So why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah. That's interesting. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
That's such a fulfilling kind of way of perceiving it. Like my answer to it is very simple. I just don't read anything.
Yeah.
Like I post and I turn my notifications off and I don't look. Like I really just don't, because that's kind of what serves me. And if I've got free time, I'll go through the comments and respond to a couple of people who've got questions or something like that. But for the most of it, I'm not really ingesting it, because if it's not in my face and people aren't there saying it to me, then,
Yeah.
it's just words on a screen.
Well, like for me, I am trying to build like an army of supporters behind me.
Yeah.
Because if you've got that, it really will help them, and everyone is going to be helping along the way,
Yeah.
Like I've got people that I see every day commenting on pretty much every video, which helps pump my videos out. Obviously, they're getting happy from it. It's perfect. You know? Like it's the perfect cycle. So I'm glad I'm helping them, and they're helping me, and it's just brilliant.
Do you ever get concerned that as the page grows and as your notoriety as a public figure grows, that will just become unmanageable?
I do worry about that, and I actually worried about that like down when I was much lower, because I was going live every night for like 3 months, and so I had a good group of people that were coming on, and they would always be just waiting for the live every night. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I know. Like that was when I started to think, like, I've got to be present in this moment, because I'm really enjoying these lives, and they're enjoying the lives. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, this is going to come to a halt soon. I can't do this forever. I can't go live every night forever. So I was worrying about that then. And, as it did happen, I don't talk to them as much anymore because I'm not live as much. So yeah, I do worry about that. But I still want to be as authentic and clear as I can that I really do care about everyone. Like I do. And it's as much as I can stretch myself out to do it. But, it is what it is. I don't have all the time in the world, but I will do what I can.
Yeah. So while we're talking about time, how much of your time is committed to your physical journey as an athlete and as someone who's looking for peak performance, and how much of your time is committed to documenting that?
So I train for 2 hours every second day. So I used to train every day. I realized that wasn't working for me because I didn't have time to do anything else, because I'd be so exhausted after training 2 hours every day. So now having my rest day, I'm going to say I probably do a lot more work on my training days. So I spend 2 hours, and then I do, let me think how stages here. I'm spending probably 4 or 5 hours a day building stuff for social media every day, and then I'm spending 2 to 4 hours on my physical health every day, whether that's walking or training or food or whatever. It's probably 5 hours actually.
So this is essentially full time.
Oh, it's 100% full time. Yeah,
really?
Yeah, it's 100% full time, and I don't make near anything
Yeah.
at the moment. But that's okay, because I'm living
Subscribe.
my passion. Yeah, please follow me. Yeah. So, like, I mean, I have taken on jobs here and there, because I have, as I said, I do marketing and advertising. So I sell cars for people and stuff like that. I've done that my whole life. Where I'll make money here and there, and that just kind of keeps me afloat. As I go along, I have very little expenses at the moment, and that's how I stay afloat. But yeah, it's full time, 100% full time. There's not time that I'm not replying to comments, checking all my platforms, having to post content every single day, because you don't want to drop out of the spotlight. When you got the momentum, you got to keep going. Yeah, so that's the hard thing about it.
Yeah, that's really interesting. You're almost approaching social media as if it's a sport.
Yeah, 100%. I am approaching this as my lifelong goal. So I want to be big. I want to be known. I want to inspire millions. not going to stop until I do. So
Is there a point of success that you have to hit in order to say I've made it?
no, but there is like a monetary value I would like to make, which would allow me to do this forever and travel the world, which is my plan. And when I hit that, it means that will just be like overwhelming for me, because I know I'll be able to, I want to go and talk at primary schools and stuff and like get these kids all motivated from a young age and teach them they can do anything and all that sort of stuff. And it's like money is the catalyst to allow me to do that. And that is what excites me. After that, like getting my name out there will just come organically.
Yeah.
Because I'll be able to do more content in more places and be more visible. That's the plan.
Do you spend much time public speaking or anything like that?
No, but that is something I would like to do
Yeah.
in the future, big time. Like, as I said, I want to go to schools and stuff and just, you know, give them that drive that I got from a young age, you know, to like, it doesn't matter if you've got anything wrong with you or not, just go and do it, you know? Like, I just think back, I'm like, did I really go and play soccer? Like, I'm thinking that would have been so painful. Like, are you freaking stupid, bro? Like, you know, but I did, you know, and I never let anything stop me. And I want all these kids, able-bodied or not, to do that. You know, new generations come out not just glued to their phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we want them glued for a little while just to get through your TikTok.
Oh, yeah, no, but, you know, 30 seconds to a minute, they're good. And then they can roll on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Are you familiar with Toastmasters at all?
No.
I think that's a group of individuals. We'll talk about that a little bit off air, but I think that's a group of individuals that would be really keen to having you part of their program, and I think it would really be helpful for you. It's essentially a public speaking group that it's built around fortnightly exercises in which you just go and speak in front of a crowd of people, depending on how big the group is, and they're based all around Australia. So they've been around since like the 1920s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They have a long history, and it's designed so that you're thrown in these impromptu situations where it might be, for example, you're at a dinner party and you have to give a toast to the host, and you've got 45 seconds right now, go do it.
Wow.
And there's people watching you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And having those kinds of exercises and being able to articulate in a certain way that enables you to be engaging and interesting, I think would really, not to say that you don't have those skills already, but much like the gym or much like social media, if you approach it with the right attitude, you can, I think that public speaking role specifically for you would be really interesting.
No, for sure.
I think much like I'm going to go see David Goggins next year, and I'm assuming you're coming as well.
Yeah, well, no, I definitely will be coming now.
Yeah. I think those avenues are going to be really interesting for you. Firstly, just to get your message out there and encourage people to go and be more physical and be healthier and lead healthier lives, but also grow your audience and grow your exposure and grow your reach.
Yeah, for sure. Like, also the skill set is definitely needed. Like, I will need that skill set, so I would love to be doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I have a couple
myself.
of contacts I can help you link up with them. I think it'd be really, really important.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Yeah, that would be cool. With your condition, we spoke a little bit earlier about how there's possible gene therapy available to you. Have you had any experience with neuromuscular electronic stimulation or anything along those lines?
No.
Really?
No, nothing.
It's very common for people that experience things like drop foot or nerve ending issues. No one's ever put that forward to you?
I actually had someone message me on Instagram the other day about it.
Yeah.
And you just said, have you ever done it? I'm like, no, I haven't. Yeah.
Because on this show, we spoke to two guys, Jimmy Sadek and Adam Venspanio. And Jimmy in particular was one of the first pioneers to bring this technology over to Australia. So I think it was patented in the United States first, and then they brought it over here. And essentially what it does is it provides electrical stimulation to your nerve endings so that they activate when normally they wouldn't. So you see this a lot of the time when people are injured, if they've dislocated their shoulder or they've done something and the range of motion isn't quite where it used to be.
Yeah.
Because if you don't use that nerve for a long period of time, as you would know, it
Yeah.
deteriorates, so you don't have that same mind to muscle connection.
Correct. Yeah.
So what this device is able to do is send certain frequencies through your nerve endings, and then it will automatically activate those nerves. So you would have full range of motion as if you weren't having that depreciation. So a lot of people with things like drop foot have been known to use this, and it helps almost like enables them to train in a way as if they didn't have the condition, and then are able to enhance their training through it. And then in some cases, they've been able to cure drop foot completely.
Wow.
They've been able to, Jimmy came on and spoke about a guy who had been in a wheelchair for almost 2 years. I can't remember what the exact reason why he was in a wheelchair for, but he had been in a wheelchair for 2 years and did a couple training sessions with the neuromuscular electronic stimulation. It's called a newbie, I believe. Is that right? A newbie? Yeah, it's called a newbie. And so basically they just strap you up, they turn it on, they set it on the settings that they need to set it on.
Yeah.
And it will enable you to train as if you didn't have the difficulty in movement that you normally would.
Wow, okay.
So I would really like potentially to link you up with him and see what they can do.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It's obviously a bit trickier because your condition has been kind of ongoing for all of this time. But, I think with these new waves of technology and information coming through, there might be more solutions for you.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I never even really think of solutions. Like I just never thought of it being a viable option.
Right.
So I'm just like, whatever, I'm just stuck with it. I'll improve it however I can. But that sounds really interesting because I wonder how it works. Because, like, obviously you think of nerves as like a highway, and then mine have just got like these shattered roads off of the highway. So I wonder if it would transmit the whole way.
Yeah.
If it does that, that could be highly beneficial, I feel.
I think so as well. And, Jimmy's using it at the moment for high performance athletes, particularly bodybuilders, because it has this effect essentially. Different settings have different effects on the nerves, but it's almost like you can lift a 10 kilo dumbbell, let's just say, right? You can lift this 10 kilo dumbbell, but they're going to have the settings in a certain way that it feels like 40 kilos and you're getting the gains as if it was 40 kilos. Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be crazy.
Yeah. Right? So you can actually build a lot more mass with taking less risk of the weight, particularly when you're doing like things over the shoulder and stuff like that, where you're very prone to injury.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people have blown out their shoulders just on the bench press, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So a lot of bodybuilders are using it at the moment. I've heard of it being used in martial arts and where movement's very important. So I think, there's a possible collab there.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Jimmy, I'm sure you're watching this one because you love these episodes, so connect with my man. How did the coming of this condition impact your family?
I remember they were quite distressed. I can remember my mum saying something to the neurologist, like saying, can't you just break his legs and reset them in hope that it would like fix it? I remember hearing that vividly and like, whoa.
Mum just asked my legs to break.
Yeah. And then he's like, no, I'm afraid it doesn't work like that. Wow. So, but then I guess over time, like I could see that my family was stressed about it. My dad never ever treated me any differently. He was always like put me in bobcats at like 6 years old. It was like helping me like change the lawn and stuff. Like it was like that. And as I said, like putting me in the athletics carnival and all that, not making me sit out. That was, I think, a lot of the, my family just going, yeah, just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, like I always did everything that I was, I guess.
Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I do. I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
No conditions?
No.
So you were just the unlucky one.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Like I think about it all the time and I'm just like, oh, man. But whatever.
You got all the extra attention.
Yeah. I got brains, so I'm all right with that. Like, I'm not dumb. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, dude. I'm in a way, I think having certain disadvantages in life kind of gives you the fuel and the the desire to push forward where other people might take it for granted.
Oh, straight up.
You grew up in the country, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very different lifestyle out there.
Yeah, it was very, very chill and relaxed. And I think that's why the school had a lot more time for me, because it was, only I think like 200 kids in the school. I don't know how big the schools are up here. But yeah, about 200 kids
in the
primary
school?
Yeah, in the whole school.
We have 100 in a grade out here.
Yeah, well then that gives you an idea of why that was so good. I think that's right, but I mean, don't hold me to it. I don't know. I think so. It was a small town. So
everyone knows each other in these towns, right?
Oh, yeah, straight up. And then like high school and everything, like I still know people from high school and stuff because it was all very small.
Yeah. Do you find that that small town mentality is very different to the suburban life or the city life mentality? Yeah. I mean, you do hear about it contrasted a lot, but what's your experience been with that?
I think it is different, but it also comes from the family. Like if you're living in in Sydney City, for example, and it all comes down to how the family raises you, like however you are. Obviously, I think you're going to learn a lot more stuff intensely in a school in Sydney as opposed to a country town. Like I think it's a lot more relaxed down there. I think kids have got it harder in a big city.
So there's less pressure on grades and
skills,
if you will.
I think I remember it being pretty relaxed in school. Like it was chill. Like, obviously there's the occasional teacher that wasn't, that was definitely a hard ass. But, I don't know. I'm living with my auntie at the moment, and my cousins who went to school up here, and just hearing the stories from school up here is way more intense than what we had down there.
Yeah.
Especially like schoolyard stuff, like the way people react and do things and the way things are all moving. It's hustle, people getting bashed and stuff. Like I don't think I ever seen anyone get bashed in primary school at my school or anything
for real?
that. And in high school, such a rarity.
Oh, it's like a weekly occurrence.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. I feel like it's way more intense up here. That's just my take. I don't know. I didn't live it. I lived the country bit.
Yeah, I think it just happens when you when you have a lot higher density population of people, right? There's just
definitely.
Gonna be
more people, more differences, more, just more.
Particularly in Sydney, because Sydney is such a melting pot of different religions, different cultures, different ideologies, and so those often come, come at clash with each other, where you just have to bring one hot button topic, and especially 50 kids in year 8 are all going to have their take on it and what they think about it.
It'd be intense.
Yeah. And then you run into the same hormones and issues like that, and people are just clashing all the time.
Yeah, I'm very thankful for growing up in a country town.
Yeah.
I'm very thankful.
Where do you prefer?
Where, for living?
Yeah. Ideally right now, if I gave you $1 million, where would
I go?
Yeah.
Probably Thailand or Dubai.
Ah, right.
Yeah. Okay. So the way I look at it is, I know it's true. I just think of world-class gyms and cool accommodation to stay in. So I'm thinking Dubai and Thailand would be really great for that. They both have really good gyms and really good accommodation. So that's the way I look at it. I'm a simple man.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. That's why I want to go to Thailand next year, and I just want to go for a month and just train in their super gyms and all this stuff. And
I haven't seen them. What are these?
They have
just
got really, really good high class facilities over there, and in Dubai as well. Obviously, they just have really expensive gyms and stuff.
Yeah, Dubai just has really expensive everything.
Everything, yeah.
That's expected, but I didn't know that about Thailand.
Yeah, and it's cheap to go.
Yeah.
So, why wouldn't you? So, yeah, right now, that's where my heart is. I want to go over there and experience that. I've never been overseas in my life. I really want to go do something like that. I can still make content. I can do all that. So it's where the monetary thing comes from. When I'm making set dollar, I can then move there, and I can go to there and there, there. And
well, Thailand in particular, Thailand's very doable.
Yeah, 100%. That's my first goal. Is there. Boom.
Yeah, that's sick, dude.
Yeah.
So I know you've been reaching out to Gymshark a fair bit. I've seen you tagging them in all your posts.
One day.
They're not sending you any love yet?
Not yet, but I know it's normally they only really sponsor people up with a really big following, and I've got to expect that. But the beautiful thing is, if they go back to the start of my TikTok, very first videos, I'm wearing Gymshark. And to this day, I'm still wearing Gymshark.
Why are you so team Gymshark?
Why? Their clothing is just really good quality. Like, it really is. I love the way it fits. I love the way the first time I put it on, how it made me feel. I was like, you know, when you never had biceps and stuff before, then you put a shirt on that's designed to show your biceps off. I was like, damn, all right, I like this.
Yeah.
So it just fit good, and I liked it. And I had Rider wear and strong lift wear and Under Armour, and I had all those, and none of them fit like this. And that's when I was like, you got yourself a lifetime person, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, they're good. They really are.
Yeah, and they're purely an internet-based company from what I understand.
They just, and they now have, like, you know, a warehouse in Australia, so the shipping is quick.
Yeah.
Too. So where it used to just come from overseas, take a bit of time. Now the sale goes on, bang, you go spend a couple of $100, chuck it on Afterpay, and you've got the stuff in a couple of days, you know? That's like predominantly my clothes are Gymshark as well. So you hear that, Gymshark? I wear pretty much only you.
Gymshark, we're talking to you right now. I mean, I would love to see you as a Gymshark athlete. I do know that they do sponsor athletes, and I think someone has had to tackle the hurdles that you have had to would be like a bilateral kind of benefit for both of you. I think, you know, you could bring a whole new range of eyeballs for people for Gymshark, and they could, you know, give you some sick clothes.
That's my thoughts exactly. I pretty much wear all their clothes other than, like, I'm wearing jeans now, obviously, but I don't have Gymshark pants I can wear like in normal streetwear. But I wear their clothes 90% of the time, you know? So if they were going to send me clothes, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, wearing it in all my videos anyway. So it'd be great for them and for
What's been your most viral moment?
Like on TikTok? I think so my first video that went viral was my transformation. It was literally a 5-photo clip, and it got 780,000 views or something.
Jeez.
and it was just like me really fat, me less fat, me less fat, me less fat. And then it was like, I'm pretty sure it had like drink your water, like exercise, that like on the captions, and everyone was like, whoa, you know, that's hectic. And I was like, all right, I got some recognition. This is cool. So
what do you think? What do you think separated that piece of content from the other pieces of content?
I think it was just the drastic change because it was short too. It was like 10 seconds, not even. So it was like instantly they see a really fat guy, and then they see a less fat guy. They're already hooked. So they're just going to watch it all the way through. Whereas like other videos, like attention span these days are crazy. People just like just go through it. But if you got them on the hook in the first 3 seconds, you can generally get a bit of traction out of it. So I think it was just...
Particularly on a 10-second video, 3 seconds is already at 30%.
Yeah, exactly. So then they're like, oh, what's coming next? What's coming next? What's coming next? And I'm like, whoa, at the end of it. That's cool. You know, I think it got me like 700 followers. So that was cool.
Yeah.
But like TikTok is interesting because I could spend 2 hours making an awesome video. It gets 50 likes and no views. Or I go and put this really quick punch together video with a really crappy sound and it just goes viral.
Yeah,
it's like... But that's the thing. You just got to keep making all different sorts of content, and some of them will pop off and some won't, and don't ever expect a video to pop off because it will just crush you when it doesn't. That's what I did. Well, I spent all this time making these videos and like, this is going to go so bad. People are going to love this. And it gets like 300 views and you're like, no, making another one of those again. Yeah.
That's the truth of it, man. You learn so much emotional just numbness to numbers.
Now I'm just like, I just post it and it's hopefully helpful or to someone or something. If it got 1 view, cool. It's as long as the message is there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's important. So, yeah, don't expect...
If you could summarize your message in 1 sentence, what would your message be?
Live healthy. You've only got one body, and money doesn't mean anything if you're unhealthy. Like, it doesn't. If you get sick and die, what's it for? What's it for? If you actually, you know what? I'll revise it. If you don't pay to look after your health, you're going to pay to look after your illness. So, yeah, pick one.
It's a very good way of putting it. That's a very good way of putting it.
Isn't it? Like, you can be sick and then you're like, oh no, I've got to go to the doctors and all this time and pay for it, and, you know, or you could just focus a little bit on being healthy and you'll be healthy.
I think some people are just addicted to being sick, man. I think some people are addicted to having anxiety or having stress or having depression. And it's not to say those things aren't real, because of course they are. But I bet you that 80% of those cases of people being depressed, 80% of the people who have anxiety, 80% of the people who are hyper stressed out, all they need is an hour of physical activity to get over that hump, because it is just so, the feeling that you get after working out is so unique and so positive that if you could put it into a tablet, it'd be the best-selling tablet of all time.
Straight up. And that tablet is pre-workout. Because once you take pre-workout, you're like, let's go. And you smash your workout done, you're like, I'm great.
Yeah.
I just had the best time. You know, like I was buzzing, I felt good. You know, that's what it is.
There's something to be desired about conquering that inner bitch and being able to do something that you really didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And doing something that's difficult and doing something that's hard and requires effort and focus. There's something rewarding after that you won't get anywhere else. If you just, even when you like lull through a workout and you feel like, damn, I didn't really get the most out of it today, there's still that feeling of at least I went.
Yeah, at least,
at least I rocked up.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is some people are just like, oh, I have to go to the gym, you know. Then they get there and have a great time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's just the mindset thing again. I have the mindset of like, rest day is tomorrow. God damn it, you know, I've got so much stuff to do. There's not training.
Yeah.
God damn it, you know. But then I'm like, oh, I get to have coffee. So that's all right. You know, I have coffee on my rest days and I pre-workout on my training days. So it's like,
I'm not big on pre-workout, I have to be honest with you.
It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to be.
Yeah.
But like for me, it's like the whole process. It's like I put on my gym clothes. Now I'm ready for the gym, right? Then I have my pre-workout and I just get like, phew, all right, my brain is alive. I'm ready to focus. Yeah, I'm ready to focus now. And then and I've had plenty of good sessions without it. Don't get me wrong. But it's just a little, like in a way, like a guilty pleasure. I like it, you know, like it just feels good and you get in and just push it. And when it starts to fade off or whatever and you're coming to the end of your workout, you're like, well, that was fun. We'll do this again tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I like it. I've tried a month without it and I felt like I wasn't pushing as hard throughout that month. So.
I've heard a lot of people say that, and that's kind of why I'm tempted to go into that pre-workout world, but I just feel like there's no way out once you're in.
If you can stay away, it's probably better. You're going to save yourself money and stuff, but over time you might just get to it and go, you know what? I want it. And then
I'm already an avid coffee drinker and an avid Red Bull drinker, so my heart doesn't need any more stimulation as it is.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Listen, Kyle, it's been a pleasure having you here, man. I really appreciate the content that you're putting out there. I really appreciate you promoting people like Masood as well and giving him a platform to, well, sharing his content and then adding to it as well, which is really awesome. And you're an inspiration to a lot of people, so thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me on, man. I really appreciate it.
That's awesome, dude. If they do want to follow you on TikTok, Instagram, potential YouTube channels one day, how do they find you?
It's KyleWill_ on TikTok. It's KyleWill10 on Instagram. And it'll just be Kyle Will on YouTube as well. So just try and keep it simple.
Kyle Will, thank you very much for joining me today, man. Guys, if you haven't already, smash the subscribe button. You don't get this content anywhere else. Thank you very much, and we will see you next time.